Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Vineet over here, and Vineet Kalsar as I represent Gujarat at NASCOM. And I would like to thank you all for joining today's webinar session. The topic for today is Sales Sutra, 3 definitive principles to become a trusted advisor and achieving more by doing less. And we are having as a speaker Mr. Amit Agarwal, who is also the author of the book called Ultimate Sales Accelerator and is the SVP Sales at Manthan Systems. The book has been also sold in 23 countries across the startups. And Mr. Amit is also a salespreneur who believes that sales is a social entrepreneurship because every sale is an opportunity to bring in joy and create wealth for the economy. And I would like to request all the participants to, as they are all, as you all are in mute mode, so if you are having any kind of questions, kindly post it in your question panel below. All right, and now I would request Mr. Amit Agarwal to proceed this webinar ahead. Over to you, Mr. Amit.
Thank you, Vineet. Thank you very much. So before we start the webinar, can you hear me well? If yes, please type Y. If no, then please type N. Can you hear me? Okay, I see Y. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Vineet, let's start with the first poll. Go ahead and please launch the first poll. And I think Vineet will give you 30 seconds to respond to it. Kindly respond to this first poll.
It was 96% yes.
96% relationship is important. Is that correct, Vineet?
Yes, Amit.
Okay, excellent. So let's look at what the, thanks for polling. Let's look at what the data shows. So this is from Sales Executive Council's Rep Skills Diagnostic, which actually has identified sales owners into 5 categories: the challenger, the lone wolf, the hard worker, the problem solver, and the relationship builder. And what is interesting is that the lowest performer in terms of quota attainment is the relationship builder. So you can see, and the highest performer is the challenger. Just to have a look at what does challenger do, always has a different view of the world, understands the customer business, loves to debate. And this one is little debatable, pushes the customer. Correct. So why this is happening is because the market has moved from pure play sellers market to a buyers market. So in sellers market, this was more important. In buyers market, this is more important. Correct? So this is the one myth which is getting broken now. Let's move on to the next. Why is trusted advisor important in current times? Let's look at this data. So this is a report called Death of a B2B Salesman, Forrester report. It was published in 2014, and it had very provocative item which said that Forrester predicts around 1 million B2B sales jobs would be lost only in US by 2020. It is interesting that nobody would have predicted COVID-19. Irrespective of that, they said 1 million. And what is further interesting is that they have divided them into 4 quadrants. So the x-axis is complexity of buyer dynamic, and the y-axis is complexity of product and service. Now, if you look at it, they say when both of them are low, they are order takers. When both of them are higher, then it is navigators. When the complexity is low and complexity of product is high, explainers. And this is the one which, when the complexity of product and buyer dynamic both are high, then it is say consultants. The word is enlighten me, enlighten me. So if you notice these rates, minus 25%, minus 33%, minus 15%, what does this mean? This means that jobs are decreasing in all three categories. However, this category where the sales owner is a consultant, that job is increasing even though the overall trend is down. So whether we call it challenger or we call it consultant, I preferred a word called specialist doctor. It is a much more positive drift. And what is a specialist doctor? Specialist doctor does two things. The specialist doctor is an expertise in one area, just like you have an eye doctor or a heart doctor. They're specialist in one area, deep expertise, and they are extraordinary communicators. If you go to any doctor, you don't know the person, they will immediately build a rapport with you. So whether you choose challenger, whether you choose consultant, or whether you choose specialist doctor, all of them are addressing the trusted advisor category, in which the subject matter expertise or understanding of business or enlighten me and extraordinary communication, these are the traits. Correct? So with that, let's move on to the agenda of what we will cover today. So we would be covering three items. The first is metaphor, the second is magic of one thing in sales, the third is most few none. Let's start with metaphor, which is becoming a persuasion powerhouse by just using two words. So are we using metaphors all the time? So if you have heard a lover is telling the other lover, you are my sunshine, or a father is telling her daughter, you are my sunshine. A mother is telling her two sons, don't fight like cats and dogs. And this one, the let's crush it guys, I think some of you might be smiling because this is told mostly by the CEOs or the sales heads and all. Now, so if you notice what is happening in these are metaphors, and what are they doing? They're making communication simple, correct? And they are comparing two objects which are dissimilar. So if you look at it, you and sunshine, correct? Don't fight like cats and dogs and kids, correct? Let's crush it, guys. What are you crushing? Rock crushing is compared to the goals or targets, correct? So this is the fundamental of metaphor. Let's also understand in technical terms what is a metaphor. So it says a metaphor is a figure of speech that equates two dissimilar things for the sake of comparison or symbolism, correct? Like you saw in the previous case. Let's look at some more example. So to highlight the enormity of $1 trillion debt in symbol words, the US President Reagan said in 1981, a trillion dollars would be a stack of $1,000 bills 67 miles high. You can see the power of it. If somebody has to explain $1 trillion debt, it is not easy to understand. He used metaphor where he compared two dissimilar objects. $1 trillion is one object, 67 miles is another object. Right? Are you getting this? If yes, please type Y, because there are many more examples. I want to ensure that you are getting this. Please type Y or N. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So you see the power of comparing metaphor to dissimilar object makes comparison very easier, correct? Also, one more thing which metaphor does, that it creates visual stories. It is the most powerful model of creating visual stories. One line, the moment the person said 67 miles high, if you were present there, imagine you will be picturing 67 miles high, correct? So that is the power. It is the shortest form of creating visual stories. So now the question is, how can we use Amitabh Bachchan and Warren Buffett as a metaphor? Could you please use your window, the question window, and just give some suggestions? How can we use Amitabh Bachchan, Warren Buffett as a metaphor? Please type whatever comes to your mind. It would be good to hear from you. How can we use Warren Buffett and Amitabh Bachchan? Longevity, investment. Warren Buffett of your investment. Very nice, Amit. Yes. What else? Longevity, somebody said. Brand, yes, Somil, thank you. Failure to success, yes. Trust, stay put. Brand, yes, yes. Very nice. Money, consistency, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for your responses. Yes. So basically, Amitabh Bachchan and Warren Buffett can be looked at various points. So one is longevity. Both are 70 plus. I think Warren Buffett would be 80 plus. Amitabh Bachchan is around 75, 76. Their longevity, their success, their diversity, all of that is there, and they are icons in their space. Correct. So if you use, like, one of the things which I use in one of the clients is a client was asking us to do something which we were not very good at. So my team resisted, said, but the client didn't agree. So finally, I had to go in a meeting and I asked him, uh, Mr. So and so, I'm sure you prefer to have iconic players, So in our case, we are Amitabh Bachchan of website personalization. For the data enrichment piece, we are newcomers in the film industry. Now, if I imagine the moment I used that, all the logical reasoning was gone. From that day onwards, the client never asked us to do data enrichment, correct? Because he understood, he could visualize that we are newcomers, whereas we are not Amitabh Bachchan of that space. Correct? So you can use the same. This is of course, please exercise care of using the right metaphor in the right country or region. If you use Amitabh Bachchan in US, some people may not know, whereas Warren Buffett might be a global icon. Amitabh Bachchan is more well known in India, so you have to take care of that. Yeah. So let's go to some examples. Oh, before going to example, let's look at, is metaphor a sign of genius? Correct. So let's look at what Mr. Aristotle had to say. So he says the greatest thing by far is to be a master of metaphor. It is the one thing that cannot be learned from others, and it is also a sign of genius, since a good metaphor implies an intuitive perception of the similarity in the dissimilar. Correct. Little twisting the tongue kind of definition, yet you can understand the last 3 4 words, similarity in the dissimilar. Correct. Now with this, let's look at some how to create this metaphor. So metaphor creation is a 3-step process. First is take a situation. The second is choose the point of comparison, which is a symbol. Correct. And then use connect using the word it's like or is like. I will again repeat and then I will show you an example. Take a situation, choose a symbol or a point of comparison, and then use the word it's like or is like. Let's take an example. So the situation is, it is both difficult and rewarding to win clients in startups when compared to large companies. So I was reflecting on this situation, correct? And to create this situation, I used a metaphor on LinkedIn. So here is the LinkedIn post. I'll give you some time to read this. Please read this post. Okay, I hope you have read the post. Now, could you please tell me, please type in your questions window, what was the metaphor used here? Can you name the metaphor? Can you please name the metaphor? Virat. Thanks, Abhinav. Startups. Okay. Scoring 100. Yeah. Virat. Pitch. Brilliant. Bouncy pitch. Yes. So actually, there are 2 metaphors used here. One is Virat Kohli. The other is the bouncy and swinging pitches in England. Correct? So now you can understand, when suppose you are talking to somebody and you say difficult in startup, so much logical reasoning you have to give. If you use this kind of English, this kind of, techniques which we have like metaphor, the communication becomes easier. Yes or no? Can you see the power of metaphor in this? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Now let's go to another one. This is the everything which I am presenting here, everything is an experience. So what is the difference between an experience and a story? Experience, there are a lot of similarities. The key difference between experience and story is experience is the truth. story can be concocted sometimes, experience can't be. So everything what you see in this presentation, everything in experience, because it is the truth. So this is the client is unhappy with the current software because it is overpriced and difficult to implement. This happened with me. I was in Mumbai, met a client, and prospect who had a similar software which we were selling, and I knew the name of the company, very nice company. I met them. So you can read this. When I asked him about his experience with the other partner, he said, Amit, it's like driving Ferrari in SV Road of Mumbai. It was not narrow lanes. Since I present to multiple geographies, I made it narrow lanes. It was in SV roads of Mumbai. So if you would have heard this as a salesperson, you would have sensed what? There is an opportunity. They have Ferrari, that means higher price. Narrow lanes of Mumbai, that means implementation has not done. That means adoption is not there. That means the person is unhappy. So there is an opportunity, even though before coming, you didn't feel that. So sometimes getting this takes so many meetings, whereas sometimes just in one conversation you can get it. So this is the power of metaphor, correct? So the second example, this is more of an exercise. So you are meeting with a client in Middle East. The client is satisfied with the quality of your software, but feels that software is overpriced. Okay. So you are meeting with a client in Middle East. This happened in Kuwait. The client is satisfied with the quality, but feels the software is overpriced. So what comparison symbol would you create, and what metaphor would you create? If you could please quickly type, in your question window, it will help. Yeah. Like a housing department in Dubai. Okay. Quality versus quantity. Yes. Just try. Don't worry about the right or wrong, because see, when we attempt, the concept goes in. It goes in. Don't worry about, whether it is right or not. Please write what is the comparison symbol. US dollar to rupee. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Gold plated Bugatti. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So the answer which I gave, there was a sheikh sitting in the room. There were some other folks also around 10 to 12, and the atmosphere was quite tense. And when I said our software is like Mercedes Benz at the price of Toyota Corolla, so you can see, directly what is happening. I told you, it creates visual stories. It is the most powerful and simplest form of visual stories. So Mercedes Benz and Toyota Corolla, these pictures were not shown, it was spoken. So it comes. Okay? So I hope you have got the understanding of metaphors. And here is the exercise which you can do post the webinar, which is for your top 3 objections in sales. Please use metaphor for objection handling. Whatever top 3 objections you face in sales, do it with a metaphor. Don't do it logically. Correct? Use it with a metaphor, and then you will see how easy it will be to communicate. Correct? Please note it down. This deck will be shared with you, so don't worry. Beneath will be sharing this deck. So please do complete this later. So Beneath, now we are up to the second poll. Please go on and launch the second poll, Beneath.
I've launched it.
Okay. So 30 seconds, folks. Please kindly respond.
So it is 53% storytelling,
Okay.
18% subject matter expert,
Okay.
and 23% productivity achieved more by doing less.
Okay. So 53, 18, and 23. Okay.
Yes.
So storytelling, and then subject matter expert, and the third one is sales productivity, achieve more by doing less. So what is interesting is that all these three aspects are getting covered. So metaphor is the shortest form of storytelling, as I mentioned, in terms of achieving more by doing less. That is our second topic, which is the magic of one thing in sales, correct? So let's go to this, correct? So have you heard of Pareto principle? Have you? Just please type yes or no. And if somebody has helped, can you please write what is Pareto principle in simple words? What is Pareto principle? Okay, no. So let me explain then. Yeah. So since the answer is no, let me explain. So Pareto principle says that it's a 80-20 rule or 20-80 rule, which says that 20% of 20%. Let me give you example. 20% of revenue is achieved by 80% of customers. 20%. So 80% of revenue is achieved by 20% of customers. 80% of wealth in the world is by 20% of people. 80% of revenue is generated by 20% of sales owners. So 80% of box office movie hits are given by 20% of actors. 80% of runs in crickets are scored by 20% of cricketers. So you get the drift. It's a basically top tier. Yeah, as somebody said, correct. So that is Pareto principle. Now, what is the one thing? So let me take an example. So let's say CEO of your company or the head of sales of your company ask you to improve sales effectiveness, and I ask you that can you identify 100 things to improve sales effectiveness, correct? So you say, okay, you work with your team and you identify 100 things. Once you identify 100 things, then you say, okay, let me apply Pareto principle. So you will get how many? 20, right? Because 20% of total, correct? So you get 20. Now, if you keep on applying Pareto principle, when you apply Pareto principle again on 20, you will get 4, correct? And if you apply Pareto principle again on 4, 20%, you will get 0.8 or 1. So what the one thing does is that it says, keep on applying Pareto principle, until you get the one thing, only one, So Pareto principle is about 20%. The one thing is about applying the Pareto principle so that it is only one thing, and that is inspired by the book, The One Thing, which has also inspired my book, because if you look at the title of my book, it is The Ultimate Sales Accelerator, and the subtitle is One Surprisingly Powerful Strategy to Create Epic Sales in Business and in Life. So this is the question the book is completely on, which is called focusing question, which is what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary. So the same question I asked on December 28, 2017, which changed my life. It is for this question, then I'm sitting with you and talking to you. If this question was not there, I will not be in this webinar. So the question was, what is the one habit I can develop in 2018? This was December 2017. That means the time of resolutions, and I was, as usual, busy in thinking about what I will do. There were so many things coming in my mind: meditation, spending time with kids, cycling, reading books, eating food at the right time, sleeping at the right time, which is around 9:15. All of these things were coming, and I every year I will think and do nothing. It is, I was regularly irregular. That is the term, if you understand. Regularly irregular, correct? So when I started reading that book, and I was, I think, 30% done, I could understand this concept. So I use this concept in asking this question: what is the one habit I can develop in 2018 such that by developing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? And the answer I got is join 5 a.m. club. Now this is very intriguing. Robin Sharma has been sharing this for a lot of times. Our scriptures, everybody says Brahm Muhurat, wake up, but this is resistance to change, correct? You can't do that. For me, when I ask the question, what is the one habit, correct, I can develop in 2018 such that by developing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? The answer among all of those things was join the 5 a.m. club. And here the word, the magic comes. The magic. What happened? So the day I have woke up, January 2nd, 2018. I remember that day. I woke up at 5 a.m. It was very painful. You know, the body was saying, "What are you doing to yourself? Don't wake up. You know, it is also winter time. Be in the blanket." You know, but then the mind said, "Boss, you have only agreed to one thing. At least do that one thing, na? Not 10 things, one thing." So I woke up with lot of pain. Woke up, and then I thought, okay, what to do now? Because at 5 a.m. nobody is awake. I'm the only person. Then I looked at the book shelf, which was uh, having all dust all around. So I opened the books. I started reading the books. Then I started doing cycling. You know. Then I started going earlier to office, because of which I started coming earlier to home, because of which I started finishing my food at 7 p.m. Before, because of which I started sleeping at 9 and 9:15 or 9:30 maximum, because of which I again wake up at 5 a.m. So you see the magical aspect. Because of appreciating books, I got so inspired by books that books are people's best friend, that I wrote the book also. All of this happened because of this one thing. You understand the concept behind this one thing? Before I go to the sales part of it, do you understand? Yes or no? Otherwise, I'll explain more. Then we'll go to the sales. It is very, very powerful, I can tell you. It can be irritating sometimes, you know, because people are not used to it. People are used to doing a lot of things. It can be irritating, correct? But the simple thing is, okay, explain more. Basically, whatever topic you choose, like in this case, I was supposed to develop resolutions. So you can list down all the resolution on a piece of paper. Then apply 20%. You can do priority. Select only 20% of them. Okay. Then out of those 20%, again apply priority and choose one. After a time, you will develop a habit. Then you don't need to do all of this. Your mind will be so much aligned with universe that you will get the answer quickly. No need to do all the maths. Initially, you will have to write it. Okay. Now let's look at the examples of using one thing in sales. So I've picked 3 areas: client engagement, sales planning, team, and process. So let's look at client engagement. So we go for many client meetings, correct? So in client meeting, a lot of times we say, okay, what are the 3 things, 10 things we have to achieve? I tell my team, and always, whether it is client meeting or internal meeting, if you ask me, even in this meeting, if I had to present only one sutra, ask me towards the end, correct? You can also ask me if I had to present only one slide. I have an answer for that. So the same thing, you know, when we go for any client meeting, instead of thinking 3 things, 10 things, whether client, whether internal, whether boss, whether team member, whether client, if we talk about, okay, what is the one thing I want from this? You see the magic. Your mind will work only in that direction, only in that direction. Similarly, this is very difficult. Sometimes you say 40 slides, 50 slides, 70 slides. But if I have to present only one slide to client, which is of value to the client, which one will I present? This is the question which we need to answer, correct? Similarly, in sales planning. So you can answer these questions for your company. What is the one thing I can achieve in sales in this quarter such that it will de-risk the entire year? When I asked this question last year, I got an answer. We have to get 66 leads, because I know if we get 66 leads in one quarter, we will achieve our targets. I have also asked this question this year. I got an answer. A lot of new team members have joined. If they are aligned well, and if they adopt our understanding, and if they do that well, then we are golden. You know, so you can ask this question for yourself. I have only given one option. You can do many options in that, correct? This is what is the one capability my sales team can develop in Q1 for predictable closures, correct? Last year, when I asked this question, the answer was storytelling. This year, when I ask this question, the answer is EQ, emotional quotient. It is not about EQ, it is about EQ. It is not about IQ, it is about EQ in current times, emotional quotient. The word empathy is quite famous currently, but emotional quotient is more than empathy. Correct? Do you see the power of this? You can add many more questions in this. Do you understand where are we going like this? Please say yes or no if you need. There are more examples. Yes. Okay. This is very powerful, folks. I'm telling you. Currently, we have 208 people on this webinar. I'm so grateful to each one of you for joining this. And I'm telling you, these are timed. Nothing is academic in this. Everything has been practiced, correct? And it is beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next. So this is a friend of mine, Ashwin Khasnis. During an interview process, I met him, and I just asked him during that thing, what is the one thing you are looking for in your new job, correct? And I think he got the fancy of this concept, and he used this for closing a deal, So his testimonial is in the book. So I would give you some time to read this. Kindly read this, and then we'll discuss it further. Please read this. Okay, so if you look, what he did is this. He did brilliant work of identifying one thing for 5 stakeholders. Look at it: security protocols, ROI, compliance, support, business partner. And he said it was our service minded approach and that one thing question that revealed the same. That this is the power of one thing. It helps in closing deals. It helps in connecting with people, and helping them understand what is their one thing, and therefore you can serve them well. Correct? Very powerful. So this is the post webinar exercise on One Thing Sutra. Again, you will get the deck, so you can use it. What is the one case study I can present to my client such that by doing it everything else is easier or unnecessary? After this, the question remains the same. You might have to personalize it for segment of the customers you are serving. If I have to show only one slide in a client meeting, which one will I show? Correct? What is the one thing I need to stop doing during our sales process? And you can create many more things. Correct? I hope this is clear to you. The One Thing Sutra is clear. Please type yes or no. Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next one, which is most few none, the fastest and proven way to become a trusted advisor. So this is, they say that difficult situations are opportunity for brilliance, correct? So this is something which happened to me. So this is a story of Starbucks in Mumbai, a true experience. So I was sitting there. I was asked to meet a client which was in red, a large insurance company, which was in deep red. It was basically a meeting to say that we don't no longer need your software. Client was absolutely angry, and so I was asked to go and meet the client, and one more colleague of mine who was from pre-sales was with me. So he had prepared a presentation 90 minutes before the meeting. We were in Starbucks, and I was looking at the presentation, and I looked at the slides, and I said, the chief marketing officer, his entire team, and the analytics head, everybody is joining. Even if they see, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. They will be extremely angry, and we will be ousted immediately. So at that point of time, when we have to actually start sitting in a cab, at that point of time, in difficult situation, I again use the power of one thing. I said, if I had to present only one structure, what would I say, which is of value to this client? What would I say? So the most few none came into picture. And what is the question? This is the questions which came. Please understand this, the question which came, the structure is most few none. This can be used for anything. I will show you another example. First, what happened there? Which digital propositions most insurance companies are implementing? Which digital propositions few insurance companies are implementing? Which digital propositions none of the insurance companies are implementing? So this is I said, if I had to present only one slide, I will present this. And what did I do? When I presented this, of course, I can't talk about each point which I said, but let me pick few. I said, most of the insurance companies I met, Mr. CMO, because of my role of handling global sales, I have met 150 plus insurance brand like yourself. And one of the things which I have seen is that it is surprising that most of them are doing a website upgrade. And he started laughing. He said, yes, we are also doing website upgrade. Correct. Okay. Then I said that few of them, what they are doing is they are also doing a combination of personalization on website a bit, and more importantly on edtech. So they are running paid campaigns on display. Correct. Okay, yes, he said we are also doing. I understand it is paid, so few of them are doing. Then I said, let me share what nobody is doing. So he was intrigued. He said, I told him that I am currently, I have a 1 crore premium, 1 crore life insurance, and I'm in the market to buy more insurance. So I went ahead to different website, and I gave my age, I gave everything, and the premium, let's say, came around 12,897, and then because of some reasons I couldn't buy it because my boss called or I got busy in something, my wife called, and then I went to that website again, uh, you know after a few hours or next day. I noticed that they were treating me as a prospect again. They didn't recognize me as a hot lead who is already in the funnel. They didn't personalize my experience that your premium was 12,897. You are one click away. Correct. And by the way, Mr. CMO, I went to your website, and I'm sorry to say this is not happening on your website. Looks like we are not doing a good job. And his mouth was open. His mouth was open. There was a there was an element of anger, surprise, anxiety, aspiration. Did you understand this? What happened? Did you understand this? Yeah. Did you understand this? Okay. Okay. Let me explain again. So basically, what most few none does is that it creates a contrast. It creates a contrast to when you are pitching this most few none. It tells somebody that you have a very deep understanding of this space. Like in this case, I have used the word digital propositions. Correct. You know, and then it also helps them compare, okay, what are the things most of the brands are doing, what are the things few are doing, what are things none are doing. So if you are selling CRM, you can do it for CRM. If you are selling personalization, you can do it for personalization. Correct. You need to have a deeper understanding of that space, and when the personal is listening, he or she will feel, oh, where am I in this space, am I in this space, am I in this space. Correct. So let me take another example which will help you understand this better. So B2B lead generation, you all are from B2B company. So most few none. So what B2B lead generation practices most companies are doing, what B2B lead generation practices few companies are doing, what B2B lead generation practices very few or none are doing. You can do very few, just to be safe. And I have captured across 4 categories: DB preparation, channels, new age tools and concepts, and events. Correct? Are you with me till now? Are you with me till now? Okay. Now look at it. What will happen? You know. So what are most companies doing? DB preparation via research or an agency, right? By in-house or they take agency help. They prepare database. Outbound cold calling, website lead forms, email campaigns. Correct? They use some email finders. Lucia is one of them. Several others are there. Physical events, which is not happening currently, which is external. Correct? Makes sense? Is this the most people are doing? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. Now look at what few are doing. Look at this. Few of them are buying database externally from a company like discover.org or ZoomInfo by anybody else, but it requires money, this subscription. Few of them are doing paid LinkedIn campaigns and media spends because LinkedIn requires money. Not everybody does paid campaign. Social selling, people think just posting content on LinkedIn is social selling. No, so very actually it can be moved to very few also. I've still put few because a lot of people say that they're doing it, yet it is very few. ABM, everybody understands the concept. Few people are doing account based marketing. Physical events, this is self curated, so a lot of people attend events which from external bodies. Few of them create their own events, physical events. Let's say your company create your own event, correct? My company create. So this is quite common, this is lesser common. Agreed on few? Okay, now look at this, very few or none. So DB refresh and sync up with LinkedIn. So DB refresh and sync up with LinkedIn is the world's largest B2B customer database. I don't understand what is the need to purchase all of this now. This is the thing now. We need to refresh and sync up with LinkedIn. Then automating connections on LinkedIn. Take a use case. You have to connect with 1,000 people. How will you connect manually? Now there are tools. There are tools like DuckSoup and various other tools through which you can do automation of connections on LinkedIn. Okay? Similarly, personalized campaigns on LinkedIn. You can send through email, but how on LinkedIn? Again, now there are drip campaigns possible on LinkedIn through tools like DuckSoup, DuxSoup, and several others. Correct? Videos. Now, this was always very important. In current COVID-19 world, this is more important. Correct? Where sales owners or inside sales owners can create short videos, 60, 90 seconds, where they can create using tools like Loom, Vidyard. Several tools are there, HubSpot, where you don't need to wait for 1 or 2 days to create it. It can get created immediately and you can share it. You can create personal rapport because people can see you. So video for prospecting and video for engagement. Correct? This is lead generation, therefore prospecting. And online events like the one which we are having. So master classes, LinkedIn Live, webinars for branding and creating pull. So do you see that most few, very and none framework has been used for B2B lead generation in one slide. Do you understand this now? Do you understand this now? Correct. Now you can use this. Again, you will get the deck, so you can please reflect on it more. You can use it for many purposes. My question to you is, in what other ways can you use most few none framework? What other ways? I told you about B2B lead generation, correct? I told you about pitching to a customer, correct? In what other ways can you use this? Yeah, attracting employee, buying a phone, brilliant. Branding, yeah. Personal growth, yes, yes. Individual skill development, yes, brilliant. It can be career growth, yes. Time management, brilliant. Oh my God, investor. Oh, who is it? Deva Brata. This is absolutely, if you want funding, rather than presenting 15 slides, if you are able to present this one slide, most few none, I can almost guarantee they will be mesmerized. They will be mesmerized. You can do it for pitching yourself. Next time you go for interview, you take this drift. Most few, very few. People will be mesmerized. Of course, you don't needn't present the slide. You can talk about it, correct? The point is about the structure. The structure is most few none. You can use it in a slide. You can use it in talking. You can use it for pitching your product. You can use it for pitching yourself. So this is the post-webinar exercise for most few none sutra. Please use most few none framework for product service you are selling. Post the webinar. If you are able to, just make that slide and use it in multiple. Initially you might feel some resistance. that okay, it is not coming out well. It's okay, it happens. It happens, it's okay. Be kind to yourself. More important is create this structure. It is absolutely awesome. I can't reiterate the importance of it. Right? I used it to finding my son's school, uh, you know 10 years before, which is given in the book also. This can be used for anything. As you said, you can use it for first for your product and service. So with that, this is clear, guys. Most few none. It's clear. Yes. Okay, excellent. Okay, now we have covered these 3 sutras today, correct? Now before we move, among the 3 sales sutras, if you have to implement only one sutra, which will you choose? So Vineet, you can pick up the poll. You have to choose one sutra out of the 3. If you have to implement it immediately, which one? You can implement all 3. You have to choose one right now. Which one would you choose? Vineet, you can do the poll.
Yes, I have shared it.
Okay.
I've launched the poll.
Okay.
So we are having 15% for Sales Sutra 1, the metaphor one, and 35% for the sales, yes, and the 35% for the second Sales Sutra, the one thing, and we are having 50% for the Sales Sutra 3, most
Okay.
few none.
Brilliant. So the most few none, if you are able to correct, I mean, all of them are very important. As you said, if you have to pick one, it is your individual choice. Everything, the one thing always works. If you choose metaphor, go with it. If you choose the one thing, go with it. If you choose most few none, go with it. You know. With that, I think we can open for Q&A, Vineet. So I'm open for any questions, and which I will answer live. Please mention your questions, and Vineet, you can read the questions or let me know. Yeah. Go ahead, folks. Any questions which you may have.
So we are having one question. Share some tips during this COVID-19 period and post-COVID-19 period.
Tips on what? I mean, specifically.
In this situation, COVID-19 situation.
Oh, so as I said, if you have noticed whatever we have shared in this webinar also, one is that we have to focus on, if we have to focus on closures, then we have to focus on lesser things. So if you focus on, one thing sutra, that you focus on lesser things. If you have deals which are closing, within that, if you focus on few activities, what is the one thing I can do to close this? What is the one thing I can help the customer, which can help the customer in taking a decision? If you use this mindset, the other is, if you use the mindset of service mindset is about giving people, rather than thinking I have to close the deal. If you think, okay, what can I be of help in this current times? It is very tough time. Software companies can at least work from home. There are companies who can't even go to their office. Their shops are closed. Correct. So if I have to help them, what can I be of service to them? So if you take that service mindset, therefore I see the EQ part, the emotional quotient part, which is empathy, which is very important. So one another aspect of empathy is to be very resourceful. So how can you be resourceful? So it is very easy that, I'm not getting leads, deals are not closing, all of that. So as humans, we can go to an unresourceful mindset, correct? So to be resourceful, first simple thing is find out a thing which you are grateful for. Let's do it right now. Just take a moment, 30 seconds. I will repeat something. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. Closing is better. If you can close better. So I'll speak. You please reflect on it. Think about one deal which you are very grateful for. Think about it. See what you see. Hear what you hear. Experience what you experience. think about various items for which you are grateful for that particular deal. I hope you guys were you able to see or experience the identify one deal which you were grateful for? Yes or no? Yeah. So there is a one liner called whatever you appreciate appreciates. Whatever you appreciates. So if you focus on being resourceful, one is helping others in terms of service mindset, and the other is helping yourself in terms of one item is being grateful, the other item is for visualization. So you can visualize deals or whatever you want. Suppose you want to see a purchase order, so you can close your eyes or while sleeping think about it, that that purchase order has come to you. So Michael Phelps, who was a legendary swimmer, there's a video which talks about he visualizing all of his wins up front. In one of his gold medals, his goggle snapped, yet he was still swimming because swimming was tape recorded in his psyche. So visualization is again a part of EQ. So if you can visualize that whatever you want to see, you want to see the deal. What helps if you are visualizing for a greater cause? If you are visualizing greater cause is that, okay, that deal has come. What is it doing? It is spreading joy in your company. It is spreading joy to the CEO. It is spreading joy to the entire fraternity. Your client is smiling. Of course, then if you see a larger cause, universe starts helping more. I'm sharing all of this from personal experience. Yes. So we can move to I hope, you guys understood, some of these concepts on EQ. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Beneath. Next question.
So we are having next question is what is the timelines one gives to himself for most FUNAN implementation?
So see, as I said, remember the word consultant or challenger or specialist doctor. I think first of all, it requires, a self-acceptance that I want to be like this. One of the challenge which I have seen in sales is that a lot of the people, with due respect, have been more on relationship side, which is good. It is required. If you need to be challenger, if you need to be consultant who says enlighten me, if you need to be specialist doctor who needs to be extraordinary communicator and a subject matter expert in an area, you need to develop skills in that area, tremendous skills. So in order to present most FUNAN, you need to have deep expertise in that area. It will backfire like anything if you can't have expertise. Suppose you go for raising raising capital. If you are presenting as a startup founder, you will have skills of presenting most FUNAN. So the key to that is there is no timeline. The timeline is within you. Correct? For example, during that time, I was in deep distress. I had to create that most FUNAN, and I created that in less than 5 minutes. Correct? So the timeline is dependent on person. My suggestion is first accept that you have to do it. Lot of times I have seen people that who say, one is I will not do it. The second is I will do it and then they never do it. The third one is I will do it and I will start with something very small. So start with something very small. Make it as a habit. That I would suggest will help you. Yeah. I can guarantee you if you do this, it is absolutely, because very few people do it. Almost none do it. Again, most few none. Correct? Yeah. Go ahead, Vineet. Thank you.
Question is as market is facing a unique situation, what a business developer can do the best?
I think I have mentioned some of these things. One is to make the communication simple. So when I said communication simple, see, when we present lot of content which is very technical in nature, it doesn't work very well. So talk about things like when I talked about metaphor. So use metaphors or use very visual content which is very easy to communicate. Imagine your buyers are having a lot of presentations right now all on screen. Yes or no? They are seeing all of this on screen. Yes or no? Right now. Please say yes or no. Yes, correct. Imagine how overwhelming it is, to see presentation after one another. So the right now presentation skills, which are very simple, the slides, which are very, very simple. You see this slide, entire slide, one question, very visual, very simple, and talking. If you noticed in this presentation, I have done 3 polls. Yes or no? I have done 3 polls. Yes or no? I have done at least 10 to 15 questions, which you guys are interacting with me. Yes or no? Yes only, correct? So this style of selling where you are engaging with people, talking, having a conversation, even when you are not talking, like right now we can't hear the words here, and the content is less. Language is very simple. Metaphor makes it simple. One thing makes it simple, correct? Most few none makes it very, very powerful, correct? So using these concepts, then service mindset, correct? The heart is full of empathy, correct? Art is full of gratitude. If imagine a glass, imagine a glass. The glass is from outside very nice, beautiful, and inside it is dirty. Will you drink water from that? Yes or no? No. Okay. Imagine another glass. There is a glass which is from outside dirty but inside very clean. Will you drink water from there? No. No. Some might say yes, most will say no. The glass has to be outside clear and inside also clear. So what is outside? Outside is IQ, intelligence quotient in sales. Inside is EQ, emotional quotient. Unless a salesperson develop both, correct, he will face challenges, correct? So some of these concepts I have shared are on IQ. In the questions when you asked me, what we were talking about, EQ, gratitude, visualization, correct? Another thing which you can do, which will work a lot, is embracing discomfort. So what is embracing discomfort? Can somebody tell me? In EQ, embracing discomfort, can you type what is the meaning of embracing discomfort in emotional quotient? What is the meaning of embracing discomfort? Pick one use case, one item. Yeah, pick one area which you are not comfortable and would you like to embrace. Pick one area. Public speaking, brilliant. So if public speaking, it could be public speaking, it could be waking up at 5 a.m. It could be, let's say, doing video prospecting. It could be, not seeing LinkedIn for 2 hours. Anything which is uncomfortable to you. If you start doing that, what will happen is mind is getting trained. Mind is getting trained, and then things will not bother you. Meditation is, do you understand the drift, the embracing discomfort? Choose small thing. Like for example, few days before my wife said, go up and, this clothes are there, put it on the, terrace. So I do everything. I am also cleaning utensils. This thing I don't like, correct? But then I said, okay, embracing discomfort. I don't like this. I will do this. So I went upstairs for around 20-30 minutes. I did all this clothes, embracing discomfort. When you embrace discomfort, after a while, things stop bothering you. If it is possible right now, you can't go out. Meditation is another thing. If you can meditate, lot of this thing, it can be also embracing discomfort. A lot of people are not used to meditating. If you start meditating for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, lot of these things of EQ, which is empathy, which is gratefulness, automatically will come. Yes, Vineet. Yeah.
The other question is like, please suggest when we touch base for the first time through email, what all things we should keep in mind, like brochure, email, and casual conversations. We sent many emails, but get response very less. So how to increase that?
Yeah, so see, this is again a concept of rapport. First of all, when you talk to anybody, you know, the the concept is people like people who are like themselves or whom they like to be. I will repeat again. People like people who are like themselves or whom they will like to be. Yes or no? Yeah, if you understand this concept in any communication, so what you do, whenever you send a communication to anybody, whether LinkedIn, whether email, you hear this carefully. If you do write anything which the person will say yes, then you are creating a rapport. For example, if you write to me, suppose you write to me and you say, Mr. Agrawal, it is glad to know that you practice Vipassana, correct? I am also curious about meditation. What will I say? Yes, because whatever you have written is correct only. So this is one thing to create rapport. Create rapport. You have to write things which are common in nature. And what is the meaning of that? When something is common, the person will say yes. So the other word to that is show me that you know me. Show me that you know me. So, example, if suppose reaching out to me and you have read a blog of mine and you say, Mr. Agrawal, I have read this blog or I have read this video or I have read your book and I like this thing. A lot of people do that. So I am able to connect. You are able to connect. Same thing when you are selling to somebody, reaching out. If you say, I have this software, can you give me a meeting? Gone. That it doesn't work in the past. It will not work currently for sure. So you have to develop rapport first. Rapport is developed through commonality. Commonality is developed through researching about that person, either on LinkedIn or on internet. Correct? You can research on LinkedIn. You can do Google alerts. If you have Sales Navigator, you can save the person as lead. Correct? So that will help you. The other thing is the communication has to be very short. If you are writing on LinkedIn, my suggestion is don't put more than 3 lines. Correct? Not more than 3 lines. Even email, not more than 5 lines. It has to be very short, and which somebody will say yes. Okay, and as much as possible in the first communication, don't ask for anything. People say call to action, call to action, call to action. No call to action, man. Please don't do that. I mean, when you develop rapport with somebody, you know, when you develop rapport with somebody, and if you ask whether in life, if we are dating somebody and the moment you meet, you say, let's go on date, does it happen? No, we have to develop rapport. Correct? So why do we do this in business? Develop that rapport, comfort level. Once it is developed, then people will give you the meeting. Correct? Not so immediately. The don'ts is no action, only service mindset. Correct? And rapport mindset. So some of these things are quite, counterintuitive. They work. That I can tell you. Okay, Vineet. I hope
Yeah,
team,
so
you are able to appreciate this. Are you able to understand what we are discussing? Please type yes or no if you need some further explanation. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Go ahead, Vineet.
the question is, but we are a B2C product company and want to understand more in B2C space.
I think you can reach out to me in the offline in LinkedIn separately, because in this we have to be very specific. In an interest, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead,
So the
Vineet.
next question is tips for increasing social media presence apart from Facebook email campaigning.
Yeah. So I think as I most shared with you in this most few none. If you see this, these are the tips. So this is lot of these things are on LinkedIn. So these are free stuff on LinkedIn. Then you can find tools on LinkedIn like DuckSoup and several others, where you can develop first of all your audience base by automating connections, and then you have communication requests sent to them. You can create drip messages, 2 3 levels of drip messages which are automated. Correct? So this will help you, because And then you can use video can be sent on any channel, and they can also be sent on LinkedIn. So you can say, here is one video, Mr. Customer, Mr. Prospect, which is of value to you, which could be of value to you because it has helped ABC customers in your segment. So you are creating intrigue, curiosity in the mind of the buyer. You say, let's say if you're selling to fashion brand, or you're selling to grocery brand, or you're selling to banks, you're saying a following bank has got this percentage growth by using this particular use case. Since you are in this space, I thought of sharing this with you. Here is a video link. Just very short message without asking for a meeting. Without asking for a meeting, you will notice what will happen. Similarly, this account-based marketing. So if you identify your focused accounts and you craft messages on that, okay, what does my top 10 clients, each one of them need? This is the best strategy for mid-funnel to closure. This one, ABM. Okay, Vineet? Yeah.
Yeah, so the other question is like most few none is great, but for that you have to be subject matter expert, isn't it?
Yes, as I mentioned, that my view of sales, and not only my view, Forrester and this company which is now bought by Gartner, the Challenger thing which I showed to you, all of their views is that they're not calling it subject matter expert. Somebody is calling Challenger, somebody is calling consultant. In my case, I'm calling it is specialist doctor. The depth of expertise in this, that is the new age sales. That is the new age sales. The person has to be absolutely, depth in that area. That is the expertise. And as I said, it requires mindset change, not only in the case of sales owners, more importantly, in the case of a larger ecosystem, larger companies, their bosses, CEOs who have been seeing sales for meetings, who have been seeing sales for relationship, all that is good. The salesperson, right now, sales is not happening, correct? Now people will realize the importance of sales. It is the number one function. If sales doesn't happen, entire economy goes to depression. Yes or no? That is what is happening right now. It is the single most important metric. Sales, जिसको हिंदी में धंधा बोलते हैं, धंधा, correct? So it is not easy. Please, be kind to yourself, as I mentioned, as I always tell to my team also, and wherever I present, first accept it, that I have to be like that. Once you accept it, you have to embrace discomfort. Okay, I have accepted it. Now I have to do some small thing. Okay, what is the 3 things I can do? What is the 1 thing I can do? It will take time. The first is acceptance. Okay, Vineet. Makes sense, guys. I hope, I know this is difficult, especially the subject matter expert thing. I'm with you. My best wishes is that difficult things are transformative. Each one of you will be iconic. In consultant category, Forrester predicted even in down times 10% job will increase. Right? This is for consultants or specialist doctors. Okay. Yes, Vineet.
Yes, so the other question is how can someone from software industry learn sales skill to achieve his dream of moving to vibrant product management world to work with team from various departments?
Sorry, is the question to move to sales or is the question to move to other departments? Sorry. So, Vineet, could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, it is how can someone from software industry learn sales skill to achieve his dream of moving to vibrant product management world to work with team from various departments?
Yeah, I think this question is a
increase.
little confusing. But if the question is to move from software to sales, see, first of all, you have to fundamentally believe. If I ask you, let me ask you, how many sales owners are there in the world? What would you respond? I need a number. How many sales owners are there in the world? What would you respond? 1.5 crores, 150 crore, very few. Okay. What would you? 7 billion. Ashish Nayak. Okay, Ashish. This is the correct, everyone. So the number is 7.7 billion because that is the population of the world, Earth right now, human beings. 7.7 billion. Why do we say that? Because each one of us are selling one of the three things, either a product or a service or an idea. Right now, I'm also selling something. I'm selling an idea. We are all fundamentally in sales. It is the most important life skill, which unfortunately is not taught anywhere. The most important life skill, sales. So if you if you are in software, if you were a kid when you were asking when to your mother, give me a chocolate, kids are the best salespeople. Best. My kids have done epic sales. Nintendo, 40,000, selling this to their father who will not even buy 5,000 rupees gift, selling this to their father, myself. Every kid, I mean, when I was kid, I have done epic sales. You would have done epic sales, correct? So we all have, you know, been part of sales. So first of all, if we believe that we are in sales already, then the confidence comes. Then the transition of moving from function, from one function to other is easy. I myself, first 10 years of my career, I have done everything from software engineering to coding to project management, everything, correct? And then I moved formally into sales, correct? I remember when I joined startup, I was not even told my role. They said, okay, your title is this. When I joined first day, they said, Amit, aap dhanda le aao. In Hindi, aap dhanda le aao, correct? I mean, whatever is the meaning of that, we all know it is sales, correct? So I think we all are in sales, folks. Just have that confidence within you, and then if you want to switch, the other things is to gain expertise in anything. Read 3 books. So if you want to move to sales, apart from accepting that you're already in sales, then from an that is intention. The action is start with reading 3 books and implementing things. If you do those 2 things, I for intention, A for action, I think you will develop that confidence of moving into a new area. Yes, Beneath. I hope it helped. Yeah. Yeah, Beneath. Yeah.
Yes. So the question is, what are the key differences in sales approach when it comes to global versus domestic IT sales?
I think, see, the key part of this is, when we say domestic versus, first of all, as I said, certain aspect of sales are common. One is that I always say that the sales nirvana is rapport. Rapport. So you have to build rapport with people. And rapport, the skill of building rapport is with people whom you don't know. The skill, I will repeat again, the skill of building rapport is with people you don't know. You have never met them. Never met them. Yet you are talking, meeting for the first time. So therefore that skill, now where does that skill comes from? That skill comes from some of the things, which is developing rapport through common things. People like things which are common to them, correct? So if you have done show me that you know me, correct? If you are meeting whether in South Africa, whether in Middle East, or whether in India, if you start a conversation with something, they will say yes, it will always work. Then storytelling, if you communicate your message in terms of stories or in terms of metaphors, like I said, I have used it in 23 countries. It works all the time, correct? If you make communication simple, content is less, correct? If you make it conversational, like we are doing here, although even though we are not talking, you say something, the other person talks. You say something, other person talks. Conversation. Then all of these things will work in any part of the world. Now, what is unique is some of the nuances, let's say the language speaking. So if you go to Thailand, sometimes in Indonesia, sometimes in Vietnam, in some of the clients, English is not understood. So there, if you can't speak, then you have to take your partner, correct? You have to take your partner. I've seen presentations where we all were sitting, our partner was doing 45 minutes, same slides in, Thai language, and we all couldn't understand, the client and the partner could. So those are the nuances, and some of them were cultural nuances, like in Philippines, people appreciated when we wore a particular kind of attire. Correct? I forgot the name. It is generally white and has, uh, you know, it is considered as business formal. Similarly in Indonesia, it is called batik. So some of my sales team members, they used to wear that. Even though we are from India, when we are personalizing in that concept in terms of dress, like in Indonesia, they will say pak. In Hindi, we say G. In Indonesia, they will say pak. Correct? So some of these nuances we have to adapt to country. Otherwise, most other things are common, which is stories, rapport building, making content very simple, those things. Beneath, let me know if there are other questions.
There are many questions, but I guess we are also running out of time.
Yes.
I would also speak one. There's one question which I would like to.
So maybe can you pick the last two questions, Beneath? Because last 2 or 3, I'll let you pick. I mean, your call. Because that.
Yes, I'll do that. There is one question which is very common coming. That please give your suggestions on handling rejections in services, whether the product benefits are intangible.
Yeah. So the first term in rejection, correct? This word is called resilience in sales, correct? So how to implement it? Resilience. So how to implement is very simple. One is that mindset in sales is I'm in sales. I'm in sales. You have to. I'm in sales. If 9 people reject me, I will find the 10th one. I will find the 10th one because I am looking for that one yes. I'm looking for that one yes. That mindset, as I said, resourceful mindset. I keep on telling to my team also in sales, unresourceful mindset is criminal because you are abundance magnets. We are abundance magnets. Yes or no? If you are in sales, I am in sales. Are we abundance magnets or not? Yes or no? Please tell me. Abundance magnets. If we are abundance magnets and we are being unresourceful, what is happening? Our power of attracting that magnet with power is decreasing. Decreasing. And that's what we are doing. Deal will not come, client will not talk. So in my case, I keep on doing this, and I keep on telling to my clients, my team also, and whomsoever I speak to, that the most important thing in sales is to be resourceful. There would be many challenges. Sometimes boss is not talking nicely, sometimes bonus is not coming. Correct? Sometimes client is rejecting. In sales, there are not only external challenges, internal as well. Correct? Yes or no? External and internal challenges both? Yes or no? Or you guys only have external challenges? You guys are good in internally. Correct? So in this case, both. Correct? So in that case, we have to be first, what words are we using within ourselves? So for resilience, right? First of the thing is, how are we talking? If we are talking in victim model, no, oh, what this person has done, how my boss has spoken to me, how this client has spoken to me, correct? How, or any deal which I do, it is get rejected only. What are we doing? We are decreasing the power of that magnet. If you say, okay, what can I do? I have got, let me look at the 10th one. Or the other thing could be, if this pattern is continuing, okay, what is the one thing can I do? Use the one thing framework. What is the one thing I can do to decrease rejection? Don't focus on 10 things. Say, what is the one thing I can do? You will get an answer. I'm telling you, use the one thing. What is the one thing I can do? Or you can say, what is the one thing I can stop doing? It will work. Be introspective and see, when we do self introspection now, rather than looking for shiny objects outside, lot of us we are looking for instant gratification outside. If we look at self gratification and we use structures nicely, structure of gratitude, structure of visualization, structure of metaphor, structure of one thing, structure of most few none, structure of use case selling, if you use structures very well, you will get responses. And if you forget everything, remember one thing, my dear fellow sales owners, remember this. You have a larger cause. You are abundance magnets. We are abundance magnets. if we are unresourceful, entire economy will go down. Yes or no? Please have that larger cause. If sales doesn't happen for 1 day, 1 week, depression comes. That's what is happening. I hope it finishes soon. You and I, we are abundance magnets. Okay. Yes, Vineet. Last question.
Yes, so the last question is, if our good prospects are not responding well, but earlier they were responding up before this COVID-19 situation, what can be done? The best suggestion.
So the worst thing is that I said this earlier also. There's this concept of 3S: Shraddha, Sabri, and Sadhana. What is Shraddha? Shraddha is faith. Faith. Correct? We need to have faith in ourselves. Correct? Faith in ourselves. Correct? As I said, faith is about believing in yourself and your product. If your belief in yourself and your product is not there, then you have to work on it. If the product is bad or something is not, then work on that proposition. Develop that faith again. What is Sabri? Sabri is patience, which is Shraddha and Sabri are Sai Baba's golden words. Okay. Sabri, patience. Exercise patience. Following up like machines doesn't work. Giving time to people. Patience, which is Sabri. And Sadhana is disciplined action. So Shraddha and Sabri is good, but this no action is happening, then what? Universe will not help. So disciplined action, which means, okay, I have faith in my product. My client is not responding. I will have patience. Let me create one proposition which has worked for this particular client. So for other clients in the same category. Let me talk to my team who actually I was serving similar customers. Let me find this one thing. And I will not ask for an action item. I will not ask for a meeting. I will only be service mindset. I will say, in these current times, where people are facing these challenges, I found this which had helped some of our other customers. Happy to share this with you. Kindly check. So if from your heart that feeling is coming, then it will work. I hope it help you all of you. Beneath, all questions are done. Before we end, these are the resources, so you can copy paste these resources in the question or chat window beneath for everybody. Let me know
Yes,
once.
I'll do that.
Let me know once you have done. Then I will go to the last part. So Beneath is sharing the resources with you. You can take it with. You can please make use of it, and this deck will also be shared. Beneath, is it done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically in an answer, I've just shared it to all.
Okay, excellent. So my wish for you is the following. May you harness the true spirit of sales. And this thing came to me in a Vipassana meditation, which is the spirit of sales is S for serve, A for authenticity, L for love, E for expertise, and S for smile. Serve with authenticity, love, expertise, and smile. And when you do that, epic sales is inevitable. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining this webinar. I will share all the details regarding the as well as the deck as well as soon as possible. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you, Beneath, and thank you to NASSCOM for setting this up. Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.